So in this video, we're going to be going over absolutely everything that you will need when you move to Bali. Literally from housing and how to figure out where to stay, to visas, to how to find scooters, how expensive food is, gym, making friends, networking, going to the co-working spaces, finding a mobile phone SIM card, where to live in Bali. We cover absolutely everything in this video. It is a little bit longer, but the information that I talk about is so valuable if you are thinking about moving to Bali this year. So make sure to stay to the very end. So we are moving to Bali in less than a week. Oh my God, so crazy. And we're leaving the Gold Coast in literally less than 48 hours. I have today to finish packing because tomorrow I'm hosting an event for my beautiful friend Morgan. And so I get so many questions about what does it take to move to Bali? How does it work? I've been getting so many questions recently. So I thought while I pack, I'll make a video and I'll answer all of the questions that I've been getting. So this video is going to give you all of the goss and all of the details about everything that you might need to move to Bali. So let's get my suitcase out. So the first question that I get when it comes to moving to Bali is, how do the visas work? So there's a couple of different visa options in Bali. The first option that we are going to be going with when we move, just because we know we need to come back, we both need to come back, my partner and I, after a couple of months. So we're just going to be moving firstly on a tourist visa, because you can extend a tourist visa. It's supposed to be 30 days originally, but you can extend the tourist visas out to 90 days. And that's more than enough that we need to be able to move. So we're going to get a tourist visa to begin with. However, if you know that you want to stay for longer, there are a couple of different visa options that you can have. There are sort of like businessy type visas if you know that you want to work over there and stay there for a long period of time. So there is a 6-month, sort of like a permanent visa, 6-month permanent visa that you can get. But that one, I don't know why people would do it. You can't leave Bali and then come back, or it resets the visa. And it's like, I think 2,000 Australian dollars, which to me, it doesn't really make sense that you would pay 2,000 Australian dollars. And then if you leave, it resets the visa and you have to pay and get it all organized all over again. So I personally wouldn't do that one. The good business visa that you can get if you know that you want to move over there and run your business over there is a Kitas visa. That's if you want to like actually set up shop and permanently live there. But again, that's like a few $1,000s for a Kitas visa. But that one's good because it's for 12 months and you can leave and like come back to Australia or wherever you live. You can go back and forth and you don't have to worry about it resetting your visa. But if you want to just do the tourist visa like I do, so when I used to live in Bali, I only had a tourist visa because I couldn't afford, it was when I was running my first business, I couldn't afford a proper longer term visa. And so what I actually did was every 90 days, I would just do a visa run. And so you can basically just leave the country to come back to Australia or to go anywhere that you need to go. And then when you come back to Bali, it resets your visa. Not a great long-term option, obviously, but at the time I was so poor that I literally couldn't afford a few $1,000s to get a normal visa. So we won't be doing that this time. Once we move back to actually like settle down a bit more and we don't need to come back to Australia as much, we'll get proper visa. But yeah, that's pretty much the visa options. The next question that I have recently gotten about moving to Bali is in regards to jobs. So can you work over in Bali and actually earn decent money? I definitely wouldn't recommend it. Obviously, Bali is in Indonesia. It's a third world country, so the salary rates are not going to be high. And if you're coming from a country like Australia, it's really going to be low for you if you wanted to work for a local Balinese company. So I would definitely recommend, if you do want to move to Bali, either 1, starting your own business, your own online business, or 2, getting a remote job. Now there are so many companies that hire remotely, especially since COVID. So it wouldn't be hard if you don't have your own business. It wouldn't be hard for you to find a remote job these days. You just have to go online and look at the job sites and check to make sure that the company or the job that you're applying for is a remote job. And you would literally be able to organize that while you're still living in your current country or hometown, or you could literally organize that while you're living there and then just let them know, hey, I'm actually going to be moving to Bali, but it's not going to affect the work, my productivity, or anything like that. I'm still going to be working, because there's so many co-working spaces over in Bali that you literally can be super productive in work hours, and then after work hours, obviously you can just like go to the beach, have fun, but you would be able to easily work a remote job in Bali. The next question that I have recently gotten about moving to Bali, how do you live? Like, how do you find somewhere to live? So first of all, finding somewhere to live is just the same as Australia. Like, there are websites that list places to stay. You can find places, like when you actually move over there, you meet people, they might have a spare room in their villa, or they might have a spare room in their homestay, or whatever it is. And basically, there's a few different housing options when you move over to Bali. So you can obviously get your own villa. That is a little bit more expensive it obviously depends on how much money you're gonna be making. The thing that I don't like about having a villa in Bali is that you have to literally organize everything yourself. So you have to get your own water, because you can't drink the water out of the tap. You have to buy filtered water. You have to organize your own electricity. So electricity it's not like in Australia where it just comes through the walls and it's there. You have to go to the grocery store or like a 7-Eleven or something and buy electricity. And if it runs out in the middle of the night and your aircon turns off, then you have no aircon while you're sleeping, and unless you go to the shops to buy electricity and put the code into the wall. I don't love living in a villa in Bali. I tried it, but it's very inconvenient, and especially when you are living by yourself, it's just lonely. Like, I didn't want to be living by myself in a villa. So I would definitely recommend, if you're going to get a villa, make sure it has a property manager or like a villa manager that looks after all the water and the electricity and does the cleaning and everything like that. And make sure that you get a villa that has more than one room, so you can have roommates and have friends, and you're not by yourself. But the other option in Bali is something called a homestay. So basically a homestay is sort of like a hotel that a local person has like made themselves, sort of, I guess. And basically, yeah, sort of like a hotel that someone built themselves. It has like, you have your own room with like a bed and a TV and a bathroom and shower, and like you have like a reading nook and a desk and a table and stuff like that. And then you have like a communal pool area and like couches and tables and a communal kitchen and stuff. And the great thing about living at a homestay is that they organize all of that stuff that I was just talking about for you. So you don't have to worry about electricity. You don't have to worry about buying your own water. They come and they clean your room every day. They can bring you breakfast to your room. They can cook for you and bring it to your room for like $3 to eat breakfast. So I personally really like living at homestays because it's just more convenient. But in saying that, last time I was there, I was by myself, whereas this time I'm going to be with my partner. So we may eventually get a villa because we want more privacy. But to begin with, we're gonna stay in a homestay and just see how it goes. But yeah, those are like the two main accommodation options in Bali. Now, in terms of getting around in Bali and a vehicle, everyone pretty much just hires scooters. So you can hire a scooter or a moped, not like an electric scooter, like an actual proper scooter. You can hire them for literally like $80 a month. You can get them really, really cheap. And to fill them up with petrol, it's like maybe, what would be the equivalent? Maybe like 80 cents Australian to fill up your scooter with a tank of petrol. So it's incredibly cheap and affordable to get around. The only thing is, like, the traffic can be quite hectic when you're riding around on a scooter. So I would definitely recommend getting lessons. I got lessons when I first moved there. I had one 3-hour lesson, which all of my friends had when I moved over there as well. I had a few friends that moved around the same time. They all had a 3-hour lesson, and so I finished my 3-hour lesson and I was like, cool, so I'm sweet to go now, right? And he was like, I think you need another 3-hour lesson. So I had to have 6 hours of lessons when I was learning to ride a scooter, but everyone else had 3. So probably you'll just need like a 3-hour lesson. There's so many scooter guys that can teach you so that you can weave in and out of the traffic, because Bali traffic is very much like organized chaos. Like, there's just so much going on everywhere all the time, and it can be a little bit daunting and overwhelming if you don't have lessons. So I definitely would recommend getting a lesson if you want to ride a scooter. I wouldn't recommend getting a car because the roads are terrible and the traffic is really bad as well. So wouldn't recommend that. So in terms of the living costs in Bali, it's incredibly cheap compared to Australia, like incredibly cheap, so cheap. So basically in Australia, I live on the Gold Coast, like this apartment here, we're on the Gold Coast, and our rent is 700 Australian dollars per week. In Bali, we're gonna be staying at this beautiful homestay, like I was just telling you about, and it's gonna be $700 per month, which is insane. We're gonna save so much money, it's gonna be great. But in terms of other expenses, as I said, like to rent a scooter, it's literally like maybe $70 to $80 a month. To fill up your scooter with petrol, it's like literally 70 cents per tank of fuel. Maybe it might have gone up a little bit to like $1, but it's incredibly cheap. You can get amazing meals. Like the food is so delicious. They make it so nice and fresh and healthy. And they're actually really good at catering to Westerners because there's so many tourists there. So you can get an amazing, delicious meal for literally like between $5 to $10. You can get the local food as well for less than like $3, which is crazy. I'm not a huge fan of the local Indonesian food, but that's just my taste. Like that's just a personal thing. If you like Indonesian food, you could literally eat for like $3 every single meal, which is insane. Weirdly, gyms are expensive in Bali. Like a gym membership here, I pay for $55 a week, but in Bali, all of like even the normal gyms are that expensive. Like 50, you could literally expect to pay between like $30 to $50 a week for going to the gym, unless it's like a really gross, like grimy, old, dirty gym. Gym is weirdly expensive. Food and alcohol, super cheap. Accommodation, super cheap. Rent for a scooter, super cheap. The other thing you might need if you move over there is a co-working membership, because where you live probably won't have the best internet. And so basically at the co-working spaces, it's really great. They just let you pay for the amount of hours that you use the internet for. So you don't necessarily have to pay for a specific desk or a specific office or anything. You can if you want to, if they have availability, but if you want, you can just like go in the communal space. And so I'm pretty sure I used to pay, I think it was around $200 for 100 hours of internet. And so that basically allows you like 100 hours at the co-working space. You can go there for more hours if you're not using the internet. Like you can literally just go there and hang out if you want to, if you wanted to like journal or if you needed to do some brainstorming. But obviously like having an online business, I was always using the internet. So yeah, I was spending quite a bit at the co-working space each month. But it's great, like they have baristas there, they have coffee that you can buy, and they have food, like there's chefs that they can make you a nice meal. So you pretty much have everything that you need throughout the day at the co-working space. And most of them are open 24/7 as well. So in the nighttime, let's say you're in Bali and you need to have a call in the US with a US client or something like that, and your internet at your villa or your homestay wasn't very good, you could just go to the co-working space and use the internet there. So that's one really good thing about the co-working spaces. Now, people have been asking me a lot, what are you doing with all of your stuff, Taylor? Oh my God. I don't own any stuff. So our apartment is fully furnished. I just have the clothes that I'm literally packing right now and a few like little nice things, which I'm just gonna give to my mom and she's gonna store them for me. So we don't actually have any furniture that we need to put into storage. If you are moving to Bali and you own a whole bunch of furniture in your hometown, I would highly recommend just selling it and getting rid of it, because even for me, like when I sell my clothes, I literally or get rid of stuff. Like I took 6 bags of clothes to charity 3 days ago, and it felt like a weight off my shoulders. Like all of these old clothes that I didn't wear anymore, I threw them out, and like now I can fit all my stuff basically in like 1.5 suitcases, and it's like the best feeling. So I would highly recommend selling all of your furniture and all of your stuff so that it's like a fresh start when you move to Bali. Obviously you don't have to, you can keep your furniture and put it into storage, but that's just gonna be an added cost every month. And like, unless you know that you want to go back to where you were living before, then there's not really any point in keeping all the stuff anyway. So I would say just sell it. In terms of making friends in Bali, it's so easy because there are so many other online business owners and digital nomads from all around the world that have moved to Bali to live and work and run their businesses from there. The co-working spaces host business events almost every night of the week. There's like free meditations, free yoga, free breath work, They do like free surf classes sometimes. Like there's so many different events that are being hosted all the time by so many different places. So I would 100% just dive into doing some events around the activities that you love. Like when I was living there last time, I love dancing. So I went to these events, like ecstatic dance events. If you've never heard of ecstatic dance before, oh my God, it's so much fun. Basically, you just go to this place. They have a DJ and you just dance like crazy, like having the best time for an hour and a half. And it's so much fun. So I would go there every Sunday, dance for an hour and a half. And then afterwards they do like a sound healing for an hour, which was beautiful. Then they have like a big buffet lunch that you can have. This is at a place called Udara in Canggu. And so I met so many amazing people there and we would all like have lunch together afterwards. And because I love dancing and they love dancing, like we just got along very well. They're very extroverted people and it was super fun. So I met lots of people there. I made lots of friends from the co-working space, at my gym, and then just from the random like business events that I would go to. There's honestly so many on every single night. It's crazy. So in terms of making friends, it's not hard at all. Like it's super, super easy to make friends in Bali. Now, in terms of where to live in Bali, a lot of people ask me, oh, like, where are you gonna be living? Where's the best place to live? Like, if we wanna come out there to live. To begin with, we're gonna be living in Canggu, which if you Google where to go in Bali, probably that's gonna be the place that will come up because it's like the new Seminyak. It's like the most touristy place. We will probably live a little bit further out, either in Pereranan or a little bit further north in Babakan. So we're like not right in the middle of Canggu where it's super, super busy, just because it's getting so bad at the moment. There's so much traffic and it's so touristy. But I do know a lot of the other digital nomads that were living there when I was living there before COVID, they are all now starting to move out to ULUWATU. So if you're thinking about moving to Bali and you really want to immerse yourself in the digital nomad lifestyle and the digital nomad community, I would definitely recommend maybe looking at ULUWATU as an option, just because that's where all of the like quality substance people that live in Bali, they're all starting to move out to ULUWATU. And it's absolutely beautiful out there as well. We literally might be moving there, just depending. We'll see how Canggu goes. I think those are sort of the main two spots where all of the digital nomads live. So if you are thinking about moving out there, I would highly recommend Canggu or ULUWATU. The only other thing to mention when it comes to moving to Bali is you just want to make sure when you go over there that you don't do anything really stupid, because Indonesia as a whole is mostly a Muslim country, and they do have really strict laws around some things. So for example, like if you get caught with drugs, you literally go straight to jail, and like they have the death penalty as well if you get caught with too many drugs. And there have been literally Australian people that have been executed for having drugs. You get shot by a firing line. So like, don't do anything stupid. The Balinese people are so lovely. Like I love living in Bali because the people are so amazing. The energy there is magic. Like it just feels like such a beautiful place to live. And so obviously you don't want to upset the local people because there is a risk that you can get in a lot of trouble. So don't be stupid when you go over there. But I feel like if you've gotten this far into the video and you're actually committed to moving to Bali long term, you're probably not going to move there to do stupid things. I think it's more so the dumb drunk Australian people like my old self when I was 18. We go there and we do stupid things because we get drunk all the time. Not anymore, but I used to. So that's just another quick note. In terms of getting a SIM card, it's definitely best like if you just get one pretty much straight as you get off the plane, because it's just super easy. They have them there in the airport. Yes, it may be a little bit more expensive, but then you will have internet, you'll have phone connection if you need to organize a taxi when you get there. Usually wherever you're staying will be able to help you organize a taxi to get from the airport to wherever you're going to move to. But if you need to, just get a SIM card and download the app Gojek, and it's like the Asian version of Uber. So you can just order a Gojek to your place where you're going to stay. But I think that's pretty much everything that you need to know. If I've forgotten something and you have a massive question about moving to Bali and you're like, oh my God, Taylor, you forgot this whole thing, please pop it in the comments below so I can help you out, because yeah, I've lived there before. I'm moving there again. I'm super excited, so I would be more than happy to help. If you are moving over and you want to hang out, let's get coconuts on the beach. Drop a comment below. Hit me up on Instagram. Instagram is at taylor.victoria. You'll be able to find me over there and we can have coconuts on the beach. And ooh, that will be so much fun. So yeah, hopefully I will see you over in Bali. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell. And until the next video, I will see you later. Bye.